Hello, and welcome to Getting Started with Action Research. In this final session, we will consider additional measures you may take to enhance your research plans. To optimize the validity of your action research, you will need to identify key points in the research process when you will pause to collect and consider purposeful and formal self-reflection, peer feedback, and participant feedback. To get started, let's take a closer look at validity. In the earlier session, we defined data validity as the extent to which an assessment measures what it claims to measure. This is called test validity. However, in educational research, validity has other and equally important meanings. Validity can also refer to the degree to which research results are relevant to the participants involved in the study. This is called internal validity. Optimizing test validity and internal validity are both essential for formal action research. For some action research studies, the results may also be potentially relevant to other individuals with similar characteristics outside the study. This is called external validity. Remember that the point of action research is to produce practical knowledge that benefits the practitioner and the other participants. But in some situations, the results of an action research study may be relevant to individuals, teachers, or students outside the study. If generalizable knowledge is anticipated or desired, careful attention must be given to optimizing external validity. To improve the trustworthiness of action research results, researchers should consider key questions that will help identify the dimensions of validity that are most relevant to their work. To get started, let's consider 6 questions you should ask to optimize internal validity. Question 1. Which stakeholders should be collaborators in the study, and how will they be involved? To demonstrate that you have optimized democratic validity, you will need to think about the evidence you will collect that demonstrates that stakeholders had a voice in the research process. You may do this by using survey or structured interview questions during planned research collaborator consultations or participant check-ins. Question 2. How do I know the results reflect what actually happened, and do not reflect my personal interests, biases, or preconceived notions about the outcomes? To demonstrate that you have optimized neutrality, you will need to consider the evidence you collect to demonstrate that you are aware of and have taken steps to address your personal interests, biases, or preconceptions. You may do this by using survey or structured interview questions during planned collaborator consultations or participant check-ins, or by improving test validity through methods of data triangulation and data accuracy. You may also find it useful to record your personal interests, biases, or preconceptions in a research log, and to periodically revisit and reflect on these. Question 3. What do I need to do to understand the ways context and process have influenced the outcome? To demonstrate that you have optimized process validity, you will need to consider the accuracy of your understanding of the context and the accuracy of the findings, interpretations, and conclusions for the context. Again, you may do this by using survey or structured interview questions during planned collaborator consultations or participant check-ins, by improving test validity through methods of data triangulation and data accuracy, or by recording your personal interests, biases, or perceptions in a research log. Question 4. How will I use the results for ongoing reflection and deepening my personal learning? To demonstrate that you are optimizing outcome validity, you will need to consider the ability of the study to increase your understanding of the problem and how it can best be resolved. You may do this by presenting your findings for critical review, by consulting with peers, or by reviewing your research log. Question 5. In what ways will the process I use and the outcomes I achieve change my practice? To demonstrate that you are optimizing catalytic validity, you will need to consider the potential of your action research study to inform or transform your practice. The most commonly used method for doing this is reviewing the regularly coded entries in your reflective journal or research log. And question 6. Do I need a critical friend to discuss my study and results? This question is especially important if you are working on your own. To demonstrate that you are optimizing dialogic validity, you will need to share process progress and research findings and seek feedback about your interpretations and conclusions. You may do this by presenting your findings for critical review, by consulting with peers, or by using survey or structured interview questions during planned participant check-ins. Now, let's consider 2 additional questions you should ask to optimize external validity, if that is relevant to your action research study. The first question is, how might the results be useful beyond my classroom? To optimize possible transferability, you will need to understand the appropriateness of the intervention in other settings. You can develop this understanding by making detailed notes about your own setting and routinely making notes in your research log about how you think the setting is influencing or being influenced by the intervention. The second question is, would I get the same results with other similar students? Those students may be in a similar class being taught by another teacher, or they may be your new cohort of students next year. To optimize consistency, you will need to understand the likelihood that your intervention will produce similar results in other settings or with new cohorts of your own students. As with the previous question, you can develop this understanding by making detailed notes about your own setting and routinely making notes in your research log about how you think the setting is influencing or being influenced by the intervention. Recognizing the important role that validity plays both in data quality and the research process is fundamental to finalizing your research plan.